Hey, so I bid on a tote full of car parts at an auction at Garth's auction house up in Columbus a week or so ago. This tote right here, it was full to the top. And the one thing I wanted out of that tote, and keep in mind it was an absentee bid, so I wasn't actually there when the auction took place. The one thing I wanted was this aftermarket hot rod type turn signal, very 1930s, 40s, and well, when I went to pick up the stuff, it wasn't there, and this thing was worth over $200 in the original box, and I had paid $130 for the tote full of stuff. But it wasn't there. Buyer beware, right? And so I took what I could get, which was everything else that was in the tote, brought it home and started going through it. And I just wanted to share with you today everything that I found in that tote. And even without the item that I had initially hoped to buy, I think I did pretty well. So let's just go ahead and take a look. So to start with, got a box full of, aftermarket Ford parts. This is antique Ford parts. A knob to something. A bunch of stuff from Dennis Carpenter Ford Reproductions with a 704 area code. I'm not sure where that's out of, but Bob Drake Ford Reproductions in Oregon. Just a whole bunch of that stuff. And, on their own, there's a throttle knob and, a cigar knob from Dennis Carpenter. On their own, these things are probably worth $5 to $10 a piece. And so I just listed them on eBay. There's Rick's Antique Auto Parts as a big collection. Defroster and heater knob. And a choke knob. So I don't know what they'll bring, if anything, but too much trouble to list them all individually. So I just decided to go with a package deal on that. Here's a tail light from a late 40s into early 1950s for a Hudson pacemaker. The chrome is a bit pitted and somebody wrote on it with magic marker, but the lens is in fantastic shape, so somebody can probably refinish that, and the lens is ready to go. So I thought that was a pretty neat item. I've got some other lighting stuff too. For instance, these BLC, what does it say? Sealed fog lamps, 5 3/4 inch BLC fog lamps. The condition of the glass again is top notch, and the housings aren't in bad shape either. They don't have any of the actual, bracket, the hardware that would mount to the vehicle, but again, 1940s, and in great shape, honestly, for the age. This I thought was really neat and unusual. Never seen anything like it. I don't know if you're familiar with Bakelite, but it was an early type of plastic. And at first I was like, what in the world could this be? I thought it was a steering wheel knob, but it wouldn't mount correctly for that, so I'm tinkering with it. And I also noticed it has an electrical cord, so it's, clearly not for the steering wheel. And I'm monkeying around with it, and I noticed that pops off. A Casco cigarette lighter. So it's an early, kind of aftermarket cigarette lighter, probably before cars came standard with those. And again, it's just in really good shape, and I'm assuming it's 1930s. So a neat item, and honestly, wasn't able to find another one just like it. Casco made a lot of lighters and lighter accessories, but that was the only one that looked like that I could find online. So going down the line, again, something I didn't know what in the world that was. Kind of just a neat decorative piece of aluminum as far as I'm concerned. But Stilco Eternal Oil Cleaner. So there you go. It's turns out the style of it's beehive. It's a beehive filter. I don't know what kind of condition that's in. It looks pretty good to me. And I don't know who would need it or for what reason, but I expect that it's going to sell. All this stuff is up on eBay right now under my Cardinal Outfitters store, in case you want to get a better look at any of it. What else do we got? This was particularly cool, I thought. And again, something I wasn't able to find another one anywhere on the internet. It's, you know, I mean, it's obviously not unique. It's not the only one out there. It was made in a factory of some sort, but rare as can be. An American Legion, probably again 1930s, I would guess. Red lens. There you can see the bulb. It's missing whatever panel went here, but you know, I think that it would have attached, since this is all automotive stuff, I'm pretty sure you would have attached it to the back fender or the back bumper, you know, back bumper, and you know, it would light up and let everybody know that you were a member of the Legion. So an interesting item there, and you know, damn near one of a kind as far as I can tell. Again, very unusual. Wasn't able to find too many of these on the internet. Certainly none currently for sale anywhere. Stover tailstop signal, very Art Deco, and I'm guessing again from the 1930s. But look at that. It's got the cable with it. It's got a nice Stover signal label, Stover light it says, and you know, it's got some wear just from being exposed to the elements, but I'd say it is almost new stock. You can't, I don't know if you can see it, but it even has an STOP that you'd be able to see if it lit up, but it does say stop right across the top there. Chrome, black, again, aftermarket taillight for the hot rodders out there. But I don't know, just kind of a cool item. A lot of this stuff is so cool. After that, Autolite Bullseye sealed beam unit. It's not particularly exciting. It was nice to have the box, although the box is a little rough, but it is just a big old vintage 1930s 40s headlight, and again, just in fantastic condition. Not too much to say about that one other than I think it's, you know, it's cool. This should fetch a pretty penny, I think. Stromberg carburetor with an SP Racing top. Usually the tops of these were circular, but this one's oval, I guess, to allow for more, honestly, I don't know a whole lot about cars, but I know that this top and this carburetor bottom here were not necessarily created together, meant to be together. This was added later to make this carburetor, you know, more powerful or more appropriate for whatever automobile it was intended to go into. And I don't know if this thing has been reconditioned or restored, or if it's you know, new old stock as well. Stromberg 97. Again, kind of neat. Emergency bulb and fuse kit, genuine Ford parts. I like old tins. A lot of people like old tins. Westinghouse Lamp Company. And then open it up. And inside, this one I don't think is original, but I do think that these are original to the box. And this Westinghouse Mazda lamp, signed as such on top. It says Westinghouse right there. Well, actually says, yeah, Westinghouse Mazda. Kind of a, I don't know, neat little outfit. I kind of like that one. Moving on. Ford ammeter. So I guess that's an amp meter for a 1926-27 Model T and all Model A Fords. Look at this thing. Oh yeah, check it out. 69 cents. But I suppose back in the 1920s or 30s, a lot of things were 69 cents, but check that little guy out. New old stock. Fun little item. And here is a Model A steering column clamp. You can see that they had it priced $3 some time ago. I looked it up, and it's, you know, it's not even worth 20 bucks probably, but still just a cool little thing. And without this tag, I don't think I would have ever figured that out. I would have thought it was a you know, a drawer pull, most likely. Speaking of Model A's, I had no idea when I saw this, right? In my mind, I'm like, what is that? Some sort of Ford wrench? You push this button over here, and it opens up over there. And I thought maybe that's a wrench. I had to use Google Lens to figure it out. It is a Model A brake lever. Okay, and so I'm assuming that some of this paint might be, it might be a repaint, but the original ones, they were painted silver just like this. So I don't know. The internet's an amazing place that I was able to figure out what that was, because I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. Oh, another gauge with a moon dial. This one's an oil gauge, so not a lot to say about it. Ford oil pressure gauge, new old stock. It's in great condition. And there's a 1928. I would have had trouble with this as well. Windshield wiper motor. It clicks on, it clicks off. Plastic housing. I mean, not too interesting for its decorative value, but I suppose somebody out there might need it. And I have no idea if any of this stuff actually works. It's all untested, but look at this. Jeez. Big old bag of Schrader and a few other brands. Schrader Dill Cleave. They're all like valve stems, like your tires, and you fill them up with air. The little valve stems. These are valve stem covers and valve stem caps, but these go way, way, way back to the 20s and 30s, and there's, I think, 64 of them in there. So I'm selling them all together as a group, because who's got the time? Who's got the time to put all that together one at a time? And this is a 1928, 2930 Model A Ford ignition coil. And it is just clean as can be. It's probably, I don't think it's, I don't know, it is Ford. So it might be actually old new stock. I don't think it was an aftermarket item made by another company. It's got that Ford script logo right there. So, again, I don't know, just a cool item. These are awesome. I like lighting. I guess I don't care if it comes off a car or otherwise, but check these out. Lynx Eye blue dots for, the tail lights, and the boxes. I got 3 of the boxes and 4 of the lenses for the 1938 or 39 Ford. And I've got 4 of them, and they're just pretty cool, man. And guess what? For 2 of those, I've even got the original housings, and they're in great shape, man. These cloth electrical cord covers, cork instead of rubber to keep everything from cracking. Nice chrome, just fantastic shape. And all right, this has got nothing to do with Fords or cars, but it was in the tote, and it took me a minute to figure out what this was too. But check it out. Indian motorcycles. 2 pieces, and at first I didn't even know if they went together, but they sure do. They go together just like that. And if any of you had a guess as to what this is, you were doing a lot better than I was. So again, I used the Google Images search feature and figured out that this is a 1920s Indian sidecar shock absorber. Now, how exactly this absorbs shock, I suppose there might have been some springs there. Who knows? But that's what it is. And I saw on one site a guy had 4 of these that were all beat up. And I think he was asking $400 or had sold them for $400. I don't know what it's worth, but at least I've got, 2 pieces instead of just a single. So I don't know if it's worth $20 or $200, but it's neat, and it's in really, it's in pretty darn good shape. This is fun. 1939 Ford Deluxe glove box cover. I don't have a key. I can get the clock to work for a few seconds at a time. The clock's by New Haven. Yeah, it's not ticking right now, but So I can get it to tick a little bit, but you know, kind of a later Art Deco look to it. You know, the back's not quite as clean as the front. Like I said, I don't have the key, but somebody out there needs this or wants this. I mean, hell, it'd look good on a mantle, you know, if you had the right kind of mantle, I guess. And here's another carburetor. This one is, trying to think, 1959. Yeah, 59. 59 Ford, Holly flathead. Even says it's remanufactured. So, but I don't know, man. It looks like it's in good shape. Everything opens and closes just like it's supposed to. And who knows? I don't know if anybody wants it or needs it, but it's available. All right, here's another one. Whoops, sorry about the noise. What in the world are those? I said. I don't know. At first, I thought that they had something to do with this. I mean, look, I don't know. The similarities are interesting. I thought maybe they went on top or on the bottom. Almost looks like they would, but in fact, no. They're for a 1930-ish Ford. They're step plates, but not just to get into the car, but to get into the rumble seat. They mounted to the back fender somehow. And so if you wanted to get into the very, very back of that Ford, you'd install these so that somebody could step up without slipping. And there's 6. One of them's still in the bag, so I know it. I don't think it's you know, absolutely original, but hubcaps, 1928, 29, 30, probably. Anyway, late 20s, Ford Model A hubcaps or cap centers. 6 of them. Really good condition. Okay, coming to the end here. I have no idea what kind of car these go to, but they're, you know, speedometer, I guess, dial faces. It's obviously missing the rest of it, and I think they probably went into a panel. I don't think they were meant to stand alone. But 2 of those, and they would have been on a lighted panel as well, because they've got little windows for the light to come in. And finally, this is it, and it's not very interesting. I should have saved the best for last, but I sure didn't. It's a collection of vintage windshield wipers. Trico, Anco, and a couple others. But for the most part, I think it's all new old stock, unused. The rubber's still pliable, it's not brittle and falling apart, and so I'm just hoping somebody would know what to do with a bunch of old windshield wipers. I certainly don't. The only thing I know to do with them is try and sell them as a group. Okay. Well, that's about it. That's everything out of that tote, give or take. There were a few things in there I just couldn't identify, little bits and pieces of metal. But even without the piece that I was expecting to be in there, and I sure wish I had it, I think I'm going to do just fine on that tote of automotive junk. So if you've made it this far into the video, I know it was long and probably a little boring unless you're super into car stuff, old car stuff. But thanks for watching, and you know, maybe I'll make another one soon. All right, thanks. Bye.